So you have left this tremendous impact on the game and on players, not only through your play on the field, but through your mentorship and the guys that you've worked with. And now we get to the Pro Football Retired Players Association and an opportunity, a shot, a chance to do something so unique in uniting retired football players for their benefit. What does being a board member of the PFRPA mean to you?
What it means to me is, and we've been talking about this here as a group for a long time about, the future player, the past player, and the current player. And from my experience, I've learned, as I've said earlier, is that I'm going to live a long time. What age should a kid start playing football? Being on the board has made me think about that. How should you view injuries? Because I've had a lot of guys whose careers ended because of injury. What kinds of things could guys do when their careers are over that might help those young kids who haven't even started playing yet? What kind of things can football contribute to a community and make a community better? I've had to think about those kinds of things. And is making money what life is all about? I've had to think about that as well. And would life be better if the guys who played the game stayed close to the game and brought their intelligence and their experience into different things that players are exposed to? I had a great job at the National Football League, and my job was to help guys transition out of college into pro football and then out of pro football back into normal life. Nobody came into my office, hardly anyone came into my office, I should say, that played football. They were brilliant guys from the financial markets, brilliant guys from broadcast, brilliant guys from health organizations. Right. And I would say, hey, did you have anybody in your staff that played football? Can some of those guys come in here and talk to me? And then I started realizing that why is it that football players are not in these roles? Why aren't they even pursuing these roles? And so I think trying to have these companies who are trying to have a more diverse workforce and trying to say, hey, we want to get some football players over here. We want to help you guys. I said, I think it'd be much easier if you had a player coming in here talking to me about this, a player helping a player. I think that you'd have my attention, and I would absolutely know that the guy who I'm talking to would be able to say the right things to communicate, successfully and correctly with my guys, and we'd have a good outcome. So, being on the board has exposed me to a lot of different challenges, but it's also given me an opportunity to think about things I've gone through that I might be able to help our board make good decisions about. It's also gotten me to look at the older guys and the younger guys. From the oldest guys, and we lose a lot of guys every year. And I was at a meeting in Las Vegas, and I could not believe how many guys died in a year. Yeah. It was like over 100 guys
every year.
And that blew me away. And then when you ask, I wonder what those guys did for a living and what was their lifestyle, and gosh, is there anything that we could have done to try and change that? A lot of these guys have gone to great colleges. Their colleges when they were in school were the top football programs in the country. Did those guys transition out of football, out of pro football, or out of college football? Great. Did they have a great transition? Or did they go through a depression? Are we having the same issues? Or like when a guy stops playing high school football, is he depressed because he can't play football anymore? Yeah. Probably. Yeah. When a guy goes to college and he can't play in the pros, is he depressed? Probably.
Every stage.
And so as a transition coach, when I'm talking to new guys, every year is like 250 guys that leave the league. When I talk to them, I say, guys, yeah, I'm a Hall of Famer, but guess what we all have in common? We were waived. We were cut.
That's right. All ends,
someone
brother.
knocked on that door and said, bring your playbook.
That's right.
And I said, so we all have that in common. And some of us are more ready for that than others. But if we really work hard and work together, it doesn't have to be a tough transition. Guys can be thinking about it early on, and it can be a smooth transition, and they can be great in their communities and doing positive things. and it's a win-win for everybody.
Unbelievable words of wisdom to pass on.